Welcome to Kathryn Raaker's World. Innovation, culture, adventure, fashion and health, artists, destinations, traditions. This is Kathryn Raaker's World.
Hi, this is Kathryn Raaker of Kathryn Raaker's World, and let's just talk. Our syndicated TV show and our syndicated radio show. And today I have a friend and guest named Dr. Kevin L. Schewe, who is an MD, FACRO, a board-certified radiation oncologist serving Southern Indiana at Memorial Hospital and Healthcare's Lang Hughes Cancer Center in Jasper. For 39 years, his work has focused or revolved around saving the life of cancer patients. Dr. Schewe discovered rather late in life that he possesses both a passion and talent unrelated to the medical profession. And that talent is an award-winning who is winning accolades across the globe. As the author of the Bad Love Gang series, he joins us today to share his award-winning screenplay, Bad Love Tigers, and Bad Love Strikes. So welcome to our show, Doc. How are you?
I'm doing great, Kathryn. It's just like coming home to visit with you. So, I was just thinking how many years we've actually known each other, and I think it's about 6 years or so.
That's right. It is, and I have to tell you that Scott and I have become very, very good friends. And I'll tell you what, I actually came out with my my first book with my son, which is a series, which I don't know if I ever sent you the book, Elizabeth Bromwell, The Case of the Chinese Leopard.
Oh, heck yeah. I actually wrote
Yeah, that's right. You wrote that.
I think I'm
in
your
book.
review. I wrote
you did. You were in the book. You were in the book.
The blurbs
that part out, right? Okay. But anyhow, we're coming out with our second book, Doc.
Oh, cool.
And it's going to be in Turkey this time.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So age is just the eye of the beholder. And I think the more active that you are, the better you are. So get us caught up on all the things you're doing today, if you don't mind.
Oh, well, we talked for a few minutes before we went on the air, and the coolest, biggest thing was we had a national press release last week that the Bad Love Strikes screenplay. So Bad Love Strikes is my first book, and the screenplay to that first book won at the Cannes Script Festival for Best Twist Ending. Now, Bad Love Tigers has won over 400 international awards on the screenplay circuit, and Bad Love Strikes, has just started sending it out on the circuit. But after all those awards, Kathryn, never have I received the best twist ending. And I think, oh my gosh, for making a movie, that's what people want. I mean, to be totally surprised or shocked at the end, right?
Right.
And so, that was a huge honor, to win that award. And so the screenplays continue to win awards, and I have a company out in Bay that is shopping the screenplays to the studios. But my ultimate goal is for these to become a movie series or a Netflix or Amazon series. I want these stories to be told worldwide.
Mhm. And but with some of my new connections, I'll be more than glad to help you with it because
All
I
right.
was one of your fans from the very beginning, right? And and so and you do something very special every day, and I want to tell people about it. You know, you send out prayers every day, along with the gal that you was one of your patients, and that was
Right.
who?
Right. So Tammy, we'll just leave it at
Tammy
Tammy.
Hoffman. I can say
I
Tammy
I
Hoffman.
took care of Tammy for breast cancer about 12, 13 years ago. And she was a Christian at that time, but she really going through breast cancer, she had to have surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation treatment. I did the radiation treatment for her. And I think it really ignited her faith. And she ended up, she and her husband, starting a foundation and buying or building, basically, buying land, but building an orphanage in Uganda for homeless children or orphaned children in Uganda, Africa.
And she's
And
got a wonderful school, and they're trying to get a high school right now.
yeah, and
And
so it's an amazing ministry that she has, and it's helping all of these children to move along in life in a very positive way. And every morning, Tammy sends out a breakfast prayer, and so it's basically having breakfast with Tammy, and I have a close circle of friends and family that I can forward that on to them. And so I'm trying to help further her ministry by doing that. But Tammy knows this, and I can't remember if I shared this with you or not, Kathryn. But so Tammy and I have been doing this together for about, I'll say 4 years. And every morning as I read it, I will save certain excerpts or thoughts, um, ideas that she is bringing forth with breakfast. And I put it in a file called Donut Hole of Eternity. And I plan to take all of these thoughts and ideas that I've been saving over the last 4 years to write a book called Donut Hole of Eternity.
well,
And
I
so
gotta tell you, every time you send them to me, I send them out to a plethora of people.
I
And
bet you do.
I, and you know what? Every day when I read the prayers, um, it every little part of it, it's like God saying, "This is for you. You need to look at this and really accept it." And today was a very special day for me, Kevin. Very good friend of mine, a lot older than me, actually came back to my church. And it was the week of bringing people back to faith. So I,
Well, can I give you an example? I mean,
right.
we're probably maybe stretching the limits of broadcast, but um, so you know that I'm a cancer specialist and have been for 39 years. And so I'm working with cancer patients in death and dying on a daily basis, day in and day out. And so, I get into a lot of spiritual discussions with patients and their families. And Kathryn, I always preface it with I'm a doctor, not a preacher, okay?
Well,
And
yeah.
so and so I share my favorite verse with patients on many occasions, and it's out of the Old Testament. And so for anybody in your audience that's going through anything stressful, whether it be health or family or finances or whatever, This is Isaiah 41:10, and it has become a lifelong verse for me. And it says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not anxiously look about you, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Surely I will help you. Surely I will uphold you with my righteous right hand."
That's beautiful. And I say the prayer of Jabez every day. And
And
you're
that's just
my
an
project
example of
today.
something
And
that has
you're my
come out.
project today, Kevin. And it's, I think the older you get, the closer I feel like you get to God, I hope.
I
And
think it's a natural part of the aging process, right? God really didn't wire us to think so much about eternity. I just don't think we're wired that way,
no, I
But
know that.
if but 50 years from now, when you and I are both in heaven, we'll probably sit there and we'll look at each other and I'll be like, Kathryn, what were we so worried about,
Right, right. That's what I say. So that's the reason why I read the prayers as soon as I get them, right? Because that makes my day. But we're going to take a short break here. And where can people find you to start off with and see everything about Dr. Kevin L. Schewe?
So I have a website, www.kevin, Kevin, Schewe, Schewe.com. And I also am very active on Instagram at Real Kevin Schewe.
Real
And
Kevin.
so at Real Kevin Schewe. Also on TikTok at Real Kevin Schewe. But mainly I use Instagram as my social media platform.
Oh,
I
yeah,
am
I know that.
also on Twitter. I
Twitter,
mean,
right.
Scott, Lorenz, my publicist, is always tweeting things out about the Bad Love series. And so,
Right. That's good.
yeah.
Right.
And so anyway, but at Real Kevin Schewe, Instagram, and www.kevinshewe.com.
Okay, we're going to take a little break and don't forget to go look at our website at Kathryn Rakers, and that's with an S on the end, so that's Kathryn. Rakers, RAAKERS.com, or let's just talk. And you can see everything on Kathryn Rakers World. We are back with one of my favorite authors in the whole world because he takes me into the science fiction world and I love it. The minute I started reading Dr. Schewe's books, I felt very akin to my wonderful dad who loves science fiction. So let's getting back to you. What is it that you would like to tell people? Are you still writing? Are you still writing?
I am. So I have written the four novels, which start with Bad Love Strikes, and then Bad Love Tigers, Bad Love Beyond, and Bad Love Medicine. And I have started writing Bad Love Rising.
Oh,
And
wow.
this is a time traveling series. If you open the first book and screenplay, Bad Love Strikes, it starts off with a quote from Albert Einstein, which I just love. How can you not love all of Einstein's quotes? I mean, they're great. But he says the only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once.
That's pretty awesome.
And so, from the time that I was, young, my sister Kathy and I, who I dedicate the first book to, we really love anything time travel related. And so, um, anyway, this all plays in really to what we're hearing in social media and out there right now,
Right.
because the storyline is that it was in 1942, June of 42, that Roosevelt launched the Manhattan Project. So Einstein warns Roosevelt that he's concerned that Hitler and the Nazis will get the bomb first, and that we need to get going. And so Roosevelt launches the Manhattan Project in June of 42. And then we had that movie, Oppenheimer 2 summers ago, which was gigantic, I mean, a huge worldwide success. And so my thesis is that Roosevelt, maybe this happened. Roosevelt invites Einstein to the White House in October of 42 and says to him, Albert, and they were acquaintances, Kathryn. You probably know that they were familiar with each other. They were friends, and so Roosevelt says to Einstein, Albert, I'm concerned that Hitler and the Nazis are going to win this race to get the bomb first. And prudence would dictate that we have a backup plan to the Manhattan Project. So I'm commissioning you to build a usable time travel machine that we will call the White Hole Project. And we will only use that time travel machine in the event that Hitler wins the race to get the atomic bomb. And we're going to build it right next to the K-25 plant in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which is the largest building under one roof being built right now. And no one will even know it's being built. They'll all, it's part of the Manhattan Project. And we won't use it unless we lose the race to get the bomb, because it's untenable for the Nazis to have the bomb first. And so if we win the race, we'll seal it off. And so happens is we do win the race to get the bomb. The White Hole Project gets sealed off. And in 1974, this group of rambunctious and rowdy teenagers discover a tunnel that leads to the White Hole Project. And then they learn how to use it. And the series begins.
And I think we just have not discovered everything that's really out there. What do you think?
Well, I also want to, tell the audience, read the Bad Love series because there's something going on in Area 51. So my book, or the series really is that an alien spacecraft actually crashes at Area 51 in June of 42, at the same time the Manhattan Project is launched. And they can't move that ship. They actually have to they have to construct a building around it and then study it and try to do some reverse engineering. And you need, for time travel, Kathryn, this time travel is possible in the world of physics. It was proven by Einstein's theory of relativity. And so there are these wormholes that are connecting different points in space and time. And to travel through a wormhole, you need something called exotic matter. Otherwise, the stability of the connection breaks down. And so for time travelers to go from one point in time to another, you would have to have exotic matter. Well, where are you going to get exotic matter, Kathryn? Area 51. Area 51. It's already there. And so can you imagine a guy like Elon Musk getting his hands on exotic matter?
I think he can do it. I really believe that, honest to God. I mean, think about everything from the time you were very young to now on watching that rocket come back onto that pad.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about all the things he's done. I mean, to meet him would be awesome, especially for you.
Yeah, I think he and I'd get along great.
I think he would too. And I mean, I really mean that. So we'll see what we can do. So this new book is coming out when?
Oh, well, I'm just underway with that book. So I would say sometime probably in 2026.
Well, that's when my new book's coming out in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, I have written three screenplays in the last 4 years, and I could write a lot faster if I wasn't a full-time cancer doctor. I think I could probably, you know, I tell people that, retirement, and oh my God, I'd be preaching to the choir with you, Kathryn, that, retirement isn't all that it's cracked up to be. There's a lot of medical literature coming out now that says the longer you work, the longer you live. But, what is the definition of work, right? I mean,
You
you're
have to
doing
love what you do. You have to love
yeah,
what
you're
you do.
doing what you want to do, and it gives you
Right.
it gives you a reason to get out of bed in the morning, and it gives you a reason to be with other people and have, be motivated and to have things to look forward to, hope and joy. And so I think there's a lot about that that ties in with keeping our immune systems healthy. So
Do other things.
I'm not going to retire from medicine. When I stop practicing medicine full time, I am raring and ready to be a full time writer. The other thing, Kathryn, that you and I'm sure we've not really spoken about this, but I actually am invited to do some speaking events as a physician. And I could see myself doing some public speaking in retirement because, as you know, I'm not shy.
You're not shy at all. The first time I saw you on Instagram, I went, wow. Guys really got it together. So, and I think that's the most important thing. If you're happy, I'll never forget when you moved and you weren't sure. And I kept saying, it's going to work out. Believe me, it's going to work
Oh,
out.
yeah.
And so I think that you are positively extremely talented. You could do anything, Kevin. Dr. Kevin, you could do anything. And I'm meeting more and more people that are doctors that are writers. Right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of doctors write medical articles, but they don't think about writing things like science fiction.
Right.
Actually, my books are really historic fiction with a twist of science fiction.
Yeah,
Let's
I think
point that
so.
out to the audience because these books are chock full of actual history, like we were just talking about the man. And so, the Bad Love Gang, they used the White Hole Project to go to Warm Springs, Georgia, to visit with Franklin Roosevelt.
I
And
remember that. I remember that.
yeah, and that's really quite a scene where they're sitting down with Roosevelt at the little White House. So I actually went to the little White House in Warm Springs, Georgia, and spent time there. And it's marvelous. It's really interesting. And so the history that I write about and the way I describe the room, it's because I was there. And, so the history in the Bad Love series is totally accurate. And it's my sister, Kathy, she was an English teacher. And when I wrote the first book, I was sending her some excerpts of it. And she gave me a call one night. She says, I'm reading this stuff you sent me. And she said, I'm just not sure what's history and what's fiction. And I'm like, I'm winning.
You're winning, right? And I think that's
Because that's what you want with historic fiction. You want people to kind of lose track of what's real and what's not.
it's really funny. The other day, I had a client from Scott, and he said, I read the book. And he said, what is really true? I
Mm.
said,
Well, and I think you base yours on actual places that you've lived.
Right.
And so you're familiar with the feeling of that society and the culture where that's taking place. And it's the same thing for me. 9 of the characters in the Bad Love
You're
series
part
are
of those
based on
characters.
people that I grew up with.
Right.
And so, I mean, why else would I bring up the fact that my nickname as a child was Bubble Butt?
Yeah, bubble butt, right? I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow, we have come to the end of the show this time. I want to invite you back, and
Okay.
actually this will be on radio and television, by the way.
Wonderful.
And so I would love to write an insert in your next book. I'd like to do
Okay. That's a done deal, Kathryn, because you have rips in my books, and they're front page news.
That's right. So thank you so much for joining me today. Where can people go to get everything, Kevin?
So my website is wonderful. It's been revamped, Kathryn. I don't know if you've looked at it lately. www.kevinschewe.com. KEVINSCHEWE. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Instagram at Real Kevin Schewe. I encourage you all to follow me on Instagram because I'm an aficionado of music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And all of my posts are put to music. And I think you'll find those pretty entertaining.
I think so too. I've always loved that. So thank you again so much for joining me today on Kathryn Raaker's World, our syndicated TV show, and Let's Just Talk, our syndicated radio show. But don't forget to go to Kathryn Raaker's cooking show, which is The Chef You and I, and it's a healthy cooking show. So thank you again so much. Don't forget to go to our website at Kathryn Raaker's World, where you'll see all of our websites and lots more. Thank you so much.